What's up, you bunch of lunatics? My name is Lunacy, and since Season 5 of Call of Duty is a bunch of booty, me and the Star Bazaar have decided to give Apex Legends a try. As most of you coming from his channel will no doubt know, we're having an absolute blast with this game. So for my first video on Apex, I wanted to make a video with some tips and tricks that we figured out over our first couple of weeks and show you one of the strategies we use to get gold tier loot every single game. First and foremost, I recommend going to the firing range. We like to start off every session with a quick warm-up in the firing range, just getting movement and recoil patterns down. This is also a great opportunity to get yourself familiarized with the different legends, their different abilities and ultimates, as well as the different weapons and gear available to you. All 27 different weapons are available, along with all the different attachments, so you can get a feel for what the weapons handle like when you pick them up stock off the ground, and what they're going to be like towards endgame when you've presumably upgraded the weapons a bit through looting. The weapons are split up into the following categories: assault rifles, submachine guns, light machine guns, marksman weapons, sniper rifles, shotguns, and pistols. For anyone wondering, my favorite weapons in each category are the R301 carbine, the R99 SMG, the EVA 8 shotgun, the charge rifle sniper rifle, the 30-30 repeater marksman rifle, and the RE45 pistol. I also main Valkyrie because jetpacks are just cool. One thing to take note of, as you can see here, there's a rack of red weapons. Apex has 5 different levels of gear. We have common, rare, epic, legendary, and heirloom. These are the heirloom weapons, and they are the most powerful guns in the game. Unfortunately, since they are so powerful, you only get the ammo that comes with the gun when you pick it up, so choose your shots carefully. Also, quick note, there's only one gun in the game that is a one-hit kill, and that's a headshot from the Kraber 50 cal sniper, as seen here.
Boom! Headshot!
Also here in the firing range, you'll find all 5 levels of the backpacks, helmets, knockdown shields, body, and evo shields. Don't get too wrapped up in there being a body shield and an evo shield. The only real difference is the evo shield upgrades with damage done to enemies, while the body shield does not. That said, damage done to down enemies does not count towards upgrading your evo shield. Each piece of legendary gear has a cool ability attached to it. For instance, the level 4 body shield improves the effectiveness of your shield cells and syringes. The knockdown shield has a one-use self-res. The helmet reduces your tactical and ultimate recharge times, and if you have the legendary backpack equipped, when you revive a downed teammate, they will come back with bonus shields and health. The heirloom level evo shield doesn't have an ability, but it does have the most damage absorption at 125 damage, 25 more than the legendary body shield. Sometimes the increased effectiveness of the lesser healing items provided by the legendary body shield ability is more beneficial than the extra 25 damage, especially towards endgame when shield batteries, med kits, and phoenix kits are not as readily available. So think about your situation and make the best decision for you. Next up, let's talk about the different categories of legends. There are 4 different categories of legends. There's DPS, recon, support, and defense. There's also different size categories, small, medium, and large, which also determines the hitbox size for the different legends. The different categories for the different legends are pretty self-explanatory. Recon helps you find enemies, support helps you support your teammates, DPS brings the pain, and defense blocks the pain. The only thing to really take note of with the different size categories is that 2 of the larger legends, Caustic and Gibraltar, both have a perk called Fortified, which reduces incoming damage by 15%, and they aren't slowed by bullet damage. Once you see their size compared to the other legends, you'll understand why they get this perk. There are a few old perks that applied to the smaller legends that we don't really need to talk about since they don't apply to the game anymore, but the Apex team says they feel confident the game is balanced without including these perks in the game. Alright, so now that we've warmed up a little bit, let's talk about the different modes. There are 2 main modes, Battle Royale and Arenas. BR is BR, and I really don't think we need to talk about what it is. As for Arenas, it's a best of 3 3v3 match. If you're familiar with CSGO, it's kind of similar. You start off with a certain amount of currency called crafting materials, you buy your equipment with that currency, and the better you perform in round, the more currency you get at the end of the round. This is a really fun way to get into a lot of gunfights much quicker than you would be able to in BR. So if you're new to the game and feel like you need to get a feel for how the gunfights go, this is a great place for you to start. Alright, so you've gone to the gun range, you've figured out your favorite weapon, you've figured out your favorite legend, you've played a bit of arenas, and you feel comfortable with the movement and how gunfights flow. Now you really want to get that W in BR, right? Your first question is probably, where do I drop? Well, there are 3 different maps: Kings Canyon, World's Edge, and Olympus. Today I'm going to talk about Kings Canyon. Me and the Star Boy are still getting a feel for our favorite places to drop, but the main thing to take note of here is that when you enter into a location, on the right next to the lower right hand corner of your minimap, you'll see the location's name, and below that you'll see what tier loot you can expect in that location. Just know that typically the high tier loot areas are going to be swarmed first by the enemy, so be prepared to fight if you want to drop there. If you do drop and there are enemy squads nearby, find the first gun you can and stay alert. If someone drops directly on you, get a gun before they do, pressure the hell out of them to either down them or get them to run away so you can continue to loot undisturbed. For today's video, I'm going to talk about our strategy on Kings Canyon and how we get gold tier loot right off the bat and how we got our W. There are 19 high tier loot areas you can drop in. They are Airbase, Artillery Battery, Bunker Pass, Caustic Treatment, Crash Site, Crashed Ship, Crypto's Map Room, High Desert, Interstellar Relay, Offshore Rig, Repulsor, Runoff, Skull Salvage, Sing Labs Interior, Spotted Lake, Swamps, The Pit, and finally, Watchtowers North and South. I like Caustic Treatment because it has easy legendary loot, and here's how you get it. First, you want to enter into Caustic Treatment through the front door, and you want to find this panel. You'll see a prompt on the screen that says hold to drain toxins, and once the toxins are drained, the legendary loot is available to be picked up. Just know there is a time limit and the toxins will refill the area soon. As you can see, I picked up a charge rifle, an RE45, and a gold helmet. There was also a gold peacemaker available, but our teammates were fighting and I needed to get involved. There's always 4 pieces available, but it's not always the same 4 pieces. I ended up stunning myself in this case. However, the other team was distracted by the Star Bazaar and Lifeline, so the RE45 shows the other squad a swift exit from the game.
Hey, how about no more dying today?
So, after that quick fight, and me doing Lifeline's job, we continued to loot Caustic Treatment. As you can see, there is a second panel you can use to drain the toxins, so keep that in mind if the front door is being swarmed by enemies when you drop in. One thing I think is really cool are these dragon worm things that pick up and carry enemy loot boxes and then fly through the air. You can shoot them while they are carrying those boxes and they will drop them nearby. This is a good way to pick up some free loot, and the boxes are color coordinated based on the loot inside them. Just be aware that there could be like 7 pieces of common loot in the box, and if there's 1 piece of epic loot in the box, it'll still look purple. Unfortunately, in this game, we didn't really run into any action outside of the beginning and ending, and I'm not going to bore you with all of the looting that we went through, so I'll just jump straight to about 4 squads left and show you our in-game strategy and how we won. As you can see, I'm still set up with a legendary charge rifle, and I'm trying to get some long-range hits. We hear fighting happening to the north and start scoping it out because we want to come in and third-party the fighting teams. Third-partying is a good strat in most BRs, but is apparently a huge part of Apex. It's important if you are going to get into a gunfight to end it as quickly as possible so that you can recover before a third party comes in and wrecks your day. As you can see though, we didn't get into position quick enough before the final squad finished their fight, so we fell back closer to the center of the circle and started scouting for the final squad again. Bazaar has them coming from where we were, so I move over, he pops his ult, and we see 0 enemies detected. Bazaar then correctly guesses the enemy team is rotating around to our right, trying to get behind us, so I pop my ult, which launches Valk into the air, and as she descends, her visor pings any enemies in the area. This turns out to be a pretty clutch move, as we know where they are, and they don't really know where we are. I set up with a charge rifle and land a couple of hits, but no knocks. You can see I'm trying to line up some of these shots through the holes in the fence in front of me. I recommend taking advantage of these types of things whenever the game gives them to you. Also, at this point in the game, we have the high ground and we don't want to give it up. Maintaining high ground on your opponent can be the difference between winning and losing the game. Here I take a lot of damage from one of the enemies, and I use a Phoenix kit to restore both my shields and my health.
One sec. Using my Phoenix kit. Opening fire.
You can also see from this fight I'm having a hard time with the Mirage, and I keep shooting his decoys. The last legend on their team pushes me, and I jetpack up and away, launch the micro missiles to try and give myself a chance to get away and heal, but to no avail. I drop under the house, land a couple of shots with the RE-45 before going down, and our lifeline downs the final legend. So that's my strategy for King's Canyon. The caustic drop is just a fun way to get some legendary loot real quick. There's also vaults scattered throughout the map that require a key card to enter. I just haven't done this enough yet, and I will be exploring this strat more in the future. There's obviously a bunch of drop strategies you can use, gun combos, rotation strats, all sorts of other ways to play the game. So, drop me a comment below and tell me your favorite drop location, and tell me what your favorite loadout is. I'm Luna C, and I'll see you in the next one.